Today is November 13th, and every November 13th, I think back in the year 1994, which was the shooting of one of my dear friends from college. Have you ever met a person that was just so wonderful, so funny, so down to earth, somebody that made you feel like you were the greatest thing on this planet? My friend's name was David Liu, and he was a freshman while I was a senior. And I guess just like typical young ones, they want to hang out with the seniors, but it was different. He thought I was cool, and he always tried to protect me as well. So when I told him I was from Brooklyn, his response was always, "You need to be careful. You know, there's lots of shooting in Brooklyn. I want you to be safe. I don't want anything bad to happen to you." And on November 13th, he was actually in Stanford, University of Stanford in California, and he went to have dinner with a couple of his friends, and he was held at gunpoint. And when he gave all his stuff over, they put him military style on the floor, on the ground, and they shot him. He didn't even make it to the hospital. And every year that it's November 13th, I just think about why this young, beautiful man who was only 23 years old, who had graduated at the top of his class at Cornell University, who was on the road to do some magnificent things with his life. He was in Stanford, and in between, he used to volunteer at a museum and was working on certain projects with them. And it's been so many years, and yet it feels like it was yesterday that I was talking to him. Have you ever met a person that meant so much to you and that touched your soul so much that even though they're gone, it feels like they're around? Sometimes I'll see an Asian guy on the train, and I don't know, something with the sunlight that's coming in or the light that's coming in, and it looks like him, and I start crying. It's been so many years. I mean, we're in 2020, and that was 1994. But I miss him. I miss him making fun of me, making fun of my dancing, just being who he used to be. Because there was no one like him before, and no one has been like him after that. And today is the anniversary of his death, and I want to put together this little commemoration of pictures of his and things that remind me of him. Because although he's gone, I want the world to know who he was. His parents made a scholarship for him for the Stanford University students. And, you know, whoever's getting it, I want them to know who he was. Like, at least have them know who he was to me. because I think that's very important. And he left a lasting impression on me. And this is for you, David. I miss you, and I love you. Bye. I had to stop the video because I couldn't really speak that much anymore. But one thing I remember that was funny about him was that when we used to go study together, I used to make fun of him and say, "Hey, David, wake up, wake up. Like, why are you falling asleep? You're supposed to be studying." And he used to say, "Hey, my eyes are always slanted in Chinese." And it used to be our joke. And I graduated in 1990, and he kept writing to me letters all the way until 1993. Used to write letters back and forth, and he would tell me about his day and tell me that he missed me because that was fun. They had nobody to make fun of. When he had a girlfriend, he would tell me about how he wanted to be bad with her and have sex. And then I got married, and he couldn't come to the wedding because he was out in California. And then being married is sort of, you get caught up with having this whole new life and planning your future, and I kind of lost touch with him. And then one day, after I was already divorced, which was, my marriage lasted like 5 years. So in the year 1999 or so, I went back to my mother's house, and my father finds all the old letters that David had written to me. And this time I'm divorced, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's up to, you know? Just because you're curious, what are your friends up to from college or high school? So I start reading the letters, and then I said, you know what? I have his mother's number. I'm going to call. So this is in 99, and the last time I had spoken to him was 94, before I got married. And I got married in July of 1994. And I called his mother, and I said to her, I said, "Hi, I'm Guadalupe Macias, and I'm one of David's friends from college. I was just wondering if you could tell me how he was, and if you could tell me, or maybe possibly give me his phone number." And she said, "Honey, he's not with us anymore." And I was like, "Oh, is he living in Korea?" Because that's where he always wanted to live. And she's like, "No, honey, he's no longer with us." And I'm like, "Oh, so where is he?" I never expected her to say, "He's gone. He's gone from this world." I never expected that. I thought she was going to say he was married, or he was living in Korea, or he was a businessman, an engineer working on some fantastic thing. And then she cried, and she was like, "No, honey, he's gone. He died. I just came back from the court." And that's when I found out he was gone. I didn't know that the last time that I spoke to him before I got married in July of 1994 was going to be the last time that I spoke to him, because then he was killed on November 13th of the same year. I miss him so much. Sometimes I could even hear the way he used to say, "Oh, Quaddy, you crazy, understand, rubber band," making fun of me for my little sayings. But anyway, I finally did go visit his parents, because that was something he always wanted me to do. And I finally went and I met them. And I stayed in the Holiday Inn, and I looked out the window of the Holiday Inn, and there was a high school behind it. And I could swear I saw him running down there around the track. And I started crying all over again. And then my daughter says, "Mom, there's nothing there." I met his parents, we went to lunch, and then I told her, I said, "I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but sometimes I feel like he's still with me. Like he's around. I swear I see him downstairs. I saw him downstairs in the track running." And she said, "You know that was the high school he went to?" I had no idea. But I gave her copies of the letters he had given me, copies of the pictures he had given me. And anyway, this is for you, David. I love you. I miss you. And I'm telling you that if there's someone that you know, someone that you love, you have to let them know. Don't wait till it's too late to tell people how much you love them or how much they mean to you. Because it might be too late. Don't waste time. Today is the day. Okay? I leave you. Please watch and just love. Just love. And I did Taekwondo for him, but I never finished. And there's a lot of things that I do thinking about him. Rest in peace, David. I love you and I miss you. Dear David, you continue to inspire me from way up above. I know you are not here, but I can still feel your love. When I am feeling lonely, especially at night, all I do is think of you, and I feel alright. At times I can feel your presence, oh so strong. I can't believe you've been gone, and for so long. You remember when I went to your semi-formal? You said I danced like a weirdo? You said I wasn't normal? I was the only girl there that wasn't Chinese. You said I was prettier, and bent down on one knee. It never mattered if it rained and there was no sun. Just being around you was always so much fun. You had this silly way about you in everything you did. Having you in my life was surely splendid. You know, I actually did take that trip to your home state. I felt your presence stronger, and I felt elate. I met your parents and gave them an embrace. When I saw your dad, I gasped because I saw your face. I sometimes get sad and want to punch the wall, and then I remember your last call. Kwadi, I know you can do anything you want to do. Listen, because it's all true. You're pretty and you're smart, and you have a great heart. Don't give up, even if you're in a rut, or else I will have to Taekwondo your butt. Oh, David, you are always in my memories and always in my heart. You'll always be there, never to depart. I wonder what your children would have looked like. I miss you.